Yo, what's going on everybody? It's me, JCreams14 here with my PEba draft analysis video. And to start us off in the first round, it was a mandatory mega round, so we had to choose our mega. I was the 10th pick overall out of 16 coaches, and I think we got a really good team. So to start us off was Mega Venusaur, a mega that I've never actually used in League format, but I know it's one of the best. It's got incredible defenses. It can be a wall. Its special attack is nothing to laugh at. It can really punch holes in teams as well as soak up hits. And with access to reliable recovery and synthesis, and moves like Giga Drain to get health back, and Leech Seed, Mega Venusaur will be staying on the field for quite a while. It's a poison type 2, so it can remove toxic spikes on entry, so that's really handy. Plus its ability Thick Fat makes two of its normal weaknesses just hit for regular damage, so fire and ice won't be super effective against Mega Venusaur, which is very, very helpful. Moving on to our second pick though is Jirachi, and I went ahead and named Jirachi our Z captain, so it can use Z moves. Z Meteor Mash might be coming, just hit something really hard. Same thing with like Zen Headbutt and stuff like that. It also gets access to Z Happy Hour, which means that if I use Z Happy Hour, Jirachi basically gets a free Ancient Power boost. So each one of its stats is boosted by one level, I guess you could say. It goes up by one, and that's really helpful for some late game sweeps or just early game sweeps. I don't know. Anyways, Jirachi is a huge threat, especially with its Thunder Waving and Stealth Rocking capabilities. It can be with its base 100 stats across the board. It can be special, physical. It can be a special or physical wall. It can really do just about anything. So that's why I went ahead and picked up Jirachi. It kind of pairs really well with Mega Venusaur, I thought, because it's a steel type, so it can eat up flying type hits, which are not very effective against it. As well as eat up psychic type hits, which are super effective against Mega Venusaur too. So Jirachi really covers Mega Venusaur's weaknesses quite nicely, and really glad to have it a part of the squad. Next up, I grabbed my Bulky Water and Rotom Wash tier 2 pick, which I really am happy with. It's a great wall, either on the physical or special side. It's a phenomenal pivot mon with Volt Switch, also a Thunder Waver. It's also got access to Will-O-Wisp to hinder physical offensive Pokemon, and powerful Stab and Hydro Pump and Thunderbolt. So yeah, it's just a really good mon to pivot around, and really glad that I was able to pick it up. It was between Rotom Wash and Milotic, and I just felt like Rotom was able to kind of fit in with my team a little more. It also has access to Pain Split, which is recovery as well as damage to your opponent's Pokemon. So really nice to have that as well. And next up, I had been drafting quite a bit of like more defensive oriented Pokemon, I guess I could say. So I really wanted a big time like powerful wall breaker, and I got that in Weavile. Now Weavile, I was actually part of my very first draft league team, and I almost got it to MVP. This thing is an absolute monster. With a 125 attack and matched by its incredible speed, this Pokemon can really punch holes in teams with access to powerful stab like Knockoff, Ice Cold Crash. It's got priority in Ice Shard. It can Pursuit Trap. It can set up with Swords Dance. It can use Low Kick, Poison Jab. It's just an incredible mon to have on my team, and a great physical wall breaker. The next Pokemon I picked up was Chandelure. Now, because I had Weavile as a very powerful wall breaker on the physical side, I wanted to get some really powerful special offense. And so I went ahead and picked up Chandelure, who's rocking just an incredible special attack stat. I think it's 145. I can't really see it right now, but yeah, it's crazy. So you do not want to be taking a Fire Blast from this thing, or Shadow Ball, or Energy Ball, whatever. It gets access to a ton of different coverage moves, which really allow it to be pretty versatile. It can substitute Calm Mind, it can Will-O-Wisp again, just like Rotom, and it's also a Ghost type, which means that it is a a spin blocker, meaning that Rapid Spin will not affect it, and thus will not remove hazards on their side of the field. So really helpful there. And Chandelure, it's also completes my Fire, Water, Grass core in Mega Venusaur, Rotom Wash, and Chandelure. So next up, I wanted to start working on my Fairy Dragon Steel core, which is pretty important to have in League format, I believe. And so I had my Jirachi for my Steel type, and so for my Fairy type, I was looking at the board and I thought that the best thing available was going to be Togekiss. And I'll probably be naming this thing Toga Chris after my good friend Chris, who goes by the name of Togavor. Really good Pokemon battler. But anyway, so yeah, Togekiss is so versatile. It can Wish, it can Heal Bell, it has reliable recovery and Roost. It's got Air Slash, Thunder Wave if I want to, Serene Grace if I want to pull some shenanigans like that. Same thing with Jirachi. Let's see, it has just good coverage, Flamethrower, and yeah, Aura Sphere. Even if I wanted to run physical Togekiss, it gets access to Drain Punch, Extreme Speed, and it actually works pretty well with a Scarf. So, oh, it also gives me a Defogger as some hazard removal that I didn't have on my team previously. So that was really helpful, and also gives me an immunity to ground types, just like Rotom Wash with Levitate. So ground types shouldn't be hitting me super hard, because I did draft Chandelure, which is weak to ground. So and same thing with Jirachi, and so I gotta cover all my weaknesses. But anyways, that's Togekiss. And to complete my Fairy Steel Dragon core, I picked up none other than Haxorus. Now this beast of a Pokemon, this thing is absolutely crazy powerful. 147 attack. It's got 2 more points of attack higher than Chandelure's special attack, which is phenomenal. This thing, you don't want to take a hit from Haxorus because it hurts. It really hurts. It can Dragon Dance. It's pretty good with a Lumberry. It's got a base 97 speed, so it's not a horrible speed tier. It'd be nice if it was over 100, but 97 lets you outspeed a ton of different things, such as Crocodile and other Pokemon like that. Anyways, yeah, Haxorus is just a super powerful Pokemon. I picked it up because I thought that it was a better dragon than Flygon. I already had Defog and base 80 speed and Togekiss, so I figured I'd pick up Haxorus instead of Flygon, just because it had a little bit more power and a little bit more sweeping potential, which I was kind of looking for. I didn't really have a specialized sweeper Pokemon on my team yet, other than Weavile, but it doesn't really get I mean, it might get agility. I think, yeah, it gets agility, but I probably won't be running that. So yeah, Haxorus is just a huge threat to other teams, and I'm really looking forward to use it this year. It also has a really helpful ability in Mold Breaker, so Haxorus's Earthquake can be hitting things like Rotom Heat and different things with Levitate. And yeah, so just super helpful, super great Mon. And as you kind of notice, the Pokemon on my team all have really, really good abilities. Like Mega Venusaur's Thick Fat, incredible. Weavile, not so much with Pressure, but Rotom Wash with Levitate, awesome. Chandelure with Flash Fire, being able to soak up those Fire type moves, or Infiltrator to break through substitutes. Haxorus with the Mold Breaker, like I was just talking about, and Togekiss Serene Grace, Jirachi Serene Grace. It's really nice to have these abilities on my team. But moving on. Next up, I grabbed Hitmonlee. Now, I really wanted a fighting type on my team, and I had been eyeing Hitmonlee since round 2, And I wasn't sure which Hitmon I wanted. All three of them were still available: Hitmontop, Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan. And I decided that I have quite a bit of quite a bit of defense on my team, so I didn't really think that I needed Hitmontop with the Intimidate, because it's a little bit more defensive, not as offensive. And I really wanted to put some more pressure on the opposing teams that I faced this season. So I went ahead and picked up Hitmonlee. This thing is just like Hexorus. It can be a sweeper with the Unburden Fake Out combo. It can also rapid spin, like I was talking about, to remove hazards. Super powerful high jump kick. It gets access to, I think, Bullet Punch and Mach Punch. So yeah, just really powerful fighting type here, and got it in a good tier 4. So yeah, Hitmonlee I just felt like would be better or more beneficial to my team than Hitmontop. And then following Hitmonlee was Miltank. This thing, I was very surprised that Miltank was still around by the time I got to it in round, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In round 8 I got Miltank, and I was just ecstatic about this pick because Miltank is such a good Pokemon. It also has the ability Thick Fat, and it also gets Sap Sipper, so I could have an immunity to grass. I could have weakened damage from ice and fire types, which is just phenomenal. It gets access to Milk Drink for reliable recovery. It can Thunder Wave. It can Stealth Rock. Gets good stab with Body Slam that has a chance to paralyze. And it also gets Heal Belt. Like, Miltank is just so versatile. It's incredible. It can be a wall. It's also got that base 100 speed, so that's a really good speed tier that can naturally outspeed a lot of things, making Miltank just a really good Pokemon to have. And at this point, I didn't have any duplicate typings on my team, and so Miltank being that normal type, really filling a good niche in my team. And next up, I really wanted a ground type, and just to take care of that electric immunity, and as well as just like a good like solid physical wall. And I was looking, and I really couldn't find very much. At the same time, I was also looking for a reliable, good special attacker, and I didn't really see anything like that in tier 4. The only thing I really saw was Exploud, but it's super slow, and I wasn't really going the Trick Room route or anything like that. So anyways, I picked up Gligar out of tier 4. This thing is really good with an Eviolite. It can wall a ton of Pokemon. It's got a really good defense for being a not fully evolved Pokemon, and can really just eat up hits. It gets access to Roost for recovery. It's immune to 2 things, both ground and electric, which is really nice from that flying typing. The downside to that is that it's 4 times weak to ice, so I have to be careful of that. But at the same time, it's another defogger. It's a Stealth Rocker as well. So at this point, I have 3 forms of hazard removal on my team. And so I really like Gligar, just because of its like walling prevalence, I guess you could say. But yeah, we're looking for Gligar to put in some work this season. It also gets access to U-turn and knockoff, which can allow me to pivot around certain Pokemon, and he can't just be like set up on. Anyways, I was feeling that Gligar wasn't like the best physically defensive Pokemon that I could get, and I wasn't really sure what to do with my last picks. Again, I was still looking for that special attacker, but I figured I'd just pick something up in tier 5. And so anyways, I went ahead and picked up Steelix. Now this thing's defense is so high, it like barely fits on the screen here in this little box that I made. Steelix is an incredible physical wall with that 200 defense. 75 HP isn't bad. It's another Stealth Rocker, so I have I have Steelix, Rachi, Gligar, and Miltank as Stealth Rockers. Just really helpful to have all those options to bring. Steelix is also, it can have an offensive presence as well if I wanted. I could run Rockhead or the other ability that it gets. I forgot at the moment. But anyways, yeah. Steelix, good Pokemon. Powerful Steel type. Backup for Jirachi if Jirachi can't handle certain Pokemon that have fighting, or not fighting, but like physical attacks. But yeah, immune to electric, really nice to have. And finally, rounding out my draft, I picked up Zebstrika. I was talking about needing that special attacker, and I was looking at my team, and I had pretty much every type covered. And so I was thinking, you know what, I'll just pick up Zebstrika. It's a really quick Pokemon, so other teams will have to speed creep it. So it allows me that, gives me a good speed tier. Plus it's got decent special attack, decent physical attack. I could go either way. And yeah, so it gives me another Volt Switcher. Overheat, it gets some hidden power move. But yeah, Zebstrika doesn't really do a whole lot of different things. It's another Thunder Waver, I guess. And so yeah, it's just kind of like a leftover pick, but could have some good matchups this season. So looking for Zebstrika and the rest of the team to put in work. But anyways, so yeah, that's going to be my team for the PEba. Looking forward to smashing some teams this season with all the offense and defense and shenanigans that I might bring. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this draft analysis. Be sure to root for the Baytown Blue Shells. Forgot my team there for a second. In the PEba season, I'll be posting every match every week, and I'll just include a team builder right before the match, just really quick to see what I brought. And anyways, yeah, thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day. See ya.